Hello folks. Well, as you know, I've been making videos on the machines that my subscribers and friends have been sending me since all my original ones were burned up in that devastating fire last September 11th. This particular helicopter came from Vincent K. It's an E-Sky Honeybee CP2. Well, the original E-Sky Honeybees were basically indoor machines and both had electric tail rotor motors. In my latest videos, we've talked a lot about ETRMs, which is the acronym I coined 30 years ago, meaning electric tail rotor motor. I talked about their beginnings along with the Hyperfly no tail rotor motor helicopter. With the success of the fixed pitch E-Sky Honeybee came the CP2. That's what this is. It has collective pitch, which means that the pitch can be reversed and adjusted throughout the flight. Well, it must have been just a coincidence, but in reality, the first Honeybee was actually not an E-Sky. It was from a company in Japan, which we do not know the name because it's not on the box or the paperwork. But we always suspected it came from the Ishimasa company, which manufactured the first electric helicopter called the Skylark EH-1. EH-1 meaning electric helicopter number 1. They're now Kyosho, so we're sure that that's what happened. Well, the Skylark EH-1 was actually the helicopter that I did put the first ETRM on and flew it successfully. That's when I sent Ishimasa the videotapes and the specs and showed them how to do it. Well, not long after that came the original Honeybee that I'm showing in these pictures right now. This vintage Honeybee was actually sent to me about 8 years ago from Allen in Canada. It had a mechanical tail rotor. Well, I assembled it and I tried to fly it with very much difficulty. There's a link in the description box so you can actually watch that one fly if you'd like. Again, those early Honeybees though were from Japan. The E-Sky Honeybees actually came much later and they're from China and Hong Kong. And before I actually had any E-Sky Honeybees though, I had a Century Hummingbird which was developed in the USA. It also had the ETRM. But even before that, I had an Icarus Piccolo. This one was in my basement and actually survived the fire. It was originally given to me by Alexander van der Roosting, who invented the Pixel and the Pico Z helis. He gave it to me to thank me for my work on ETRMs and the advice on marketing it to Icarus in Germany that manufactured them for him. Well, with all the receivers containing gyros and speed controllers all in one unit, they took lots of understanding and time to get set up just right. And this one that Vincent sent me was actually no different. He told me he had trouble with it, and I could see why. But once I got it ready to fly, I found out that the servos were just jumping all over the place. The swatch plate was going up and down, and this was with the AM radio they came with. I couldn't get it to go at all. Well, it turns out that the receiver crystal was broken. So for that reason, I searched eBay until I found a receiver and transmitter, this time on 2.4 gigahertz, and put it in. 2.4 gigahertz don't use typical crystals. Well, the resulting flight is just a quick starting point as I just neutralized the pots on the receiver and I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to set it up. But from my promise to Vincent to make a video of it flying, I present it now as is. And just like all of them, they didn't like to be turned upside down. You see, the built-in throttle hold works like when the throttle hold switch was turned on, it has a big slowdown at half throttle. Motor slows way down. Well, that curve was just too soft and weak for me, and I don't use that. You see, all my electric helicopters, I have the throttle curve set at 90%. That's 90% of full throttle, and that way only the pitch changes when I run the stick up and down. It's zero pitch at center stick. That way there's no jerks on the tail and the motor stays at a constant speed throughout. This is known as the Moss method, as Mike Moss, the national helicopter champion at the time, developed. So with the motor speed going up and down, it really messes with the tail gyro, and I just couldn't get it to hold inverted either. And then when turning off the throttle hold and the throttle goes up and down along with the pitch, it makes the tail rotor really twitchy. So again, it's a tough bird to master. But nonetheless, though, just flying it around is fun, as you will see, and it is quite fast. You know, newer machines all have power everything, and they really make helicopter flying easy compared to those old days. So thank you again for sending this Honeybee to me, Vincent, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it fly. I can understand why you had trouble with it. Also, those nitro helis you folks have sent me all have been restored and they're ready to fly. I thank you very much. I can't wait to fly them. But I'm going to wait till the warm weather, though, as these tired old fingers just can't handle that cold very well anymore. So here we go.
A little cold and windy out here, but we're going to give it a try. Whoa. I don't think it's going to fly upside down. Nope, will not hold upside down. Flies pretty good though. I have to go back and watch some of my videos so I could see how to set it up. The old Honeybee. Well, things have sure come a long way since those days.